Hello, hello, hello. How you doing out there? Um, I hope you're doing well. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for following me on Twitch and getting me to 54 followers. Well, depending on which screen you look at, 53 or 54 followers. But that is enough. That's all I need to become an affiliate. Now it's on me. I have to do the last and final thing, which is average seven. I need to stream 7 days per month on average. And right now I'm at 5. So thank you so much. One more thing away, and then I'll be an affiliate on Twitch. So thank you very, very much for everyone over on Twitch for following me there. I really, really appreciate it. So today looks like the connection is saying excellent. So, oh no, now it's saying it's slow on YouTube. So I was gonna try to maybe play a game on Tabletopia. That's probably a bad idea. We can maybe try playing a game on BGA. That could be cool. Or we can just chat. If you got my newsletter this week, you probably saw that I got some pretty terrible news from a publisher. Basically, a game that was supposed to come out this summer is on hold and possibly on hold indefinitely. And that was really, really, really tough to hear. But I am feeling a lot better, and I think part of that might be because I got like a new idea for a game, and I've just been playing it, like testing it over chat with a group of my like best friends. And and then also it's just been, just some time has passed. So, you just gotta feel the feelings and deal with disappointment as a designer. That one was pretty brutal though. I worked a very, very, very long time on that game, and now it most likely will not ever come out. And that's, as a designer, that's like your worst nightmare. In the grand scheme of things going on in the world, I know it's not like, someone's worst nightmare, but just as a board game designer, you never want to hear that from a publisher, that they have decided to put a game that is done and ready to be announced, and they decide to put it on hold for whatever reason. But yeah, when you pitch to publishers, you give up those decisions, you give up that control. You don't have any say in the marketing of your game. You don't have any say in when it will come out. You don't have any say on whether it's canceled or not. And that's like the risk you take. So thankfully, I made sure that they paid me for my work. This is why you always get an advance. You always, always, always get an advance when you sign a game with a publisher. Because unfortunately, this does happen fairly often where, a publisher might go bankrupt, or they might just decide to change lanes or whatever. And I think right now publishers are dealing with, a special situation with people not buying as many board games as usual. Just with everything being so expensive and people, pulling back on their spending, and then, boycotting big companies like Target and Walmart and Amazon. But yeah, so these sorts of things are out of your control. So it's like you remove the risk of, the financial risk of self-publishing. When you pitch to a publisher, you are not taking on that financial risk that self-publishing has, but you are risking the game possibly not even getting out there at all. That's completely up to the publisher. It's their right if they want to do that. But then, you should, if they decide to completely not pursue it, you should then get the rights back to the game. And then you can do whatever you want with it. Then you can decide to self-publish. Then you can pitch it to another publisher. It's never a good feeling. Especially when a game is done. Like I approved I went over the final copy of the game. I looked over the final rules. I looked over all the assets. I looked over everything with a fine-tooth comb. And then it likely will never see the light of day. So it's very, very, very disappointing. But it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it, but giving up that, not having that control or that decision-making power can be really stressful. So I was just kind of dealing with that this past week. So thank you everyone for reading my newsletter and letting me sort of vent about that. But I just want to, talk about the ups and the downs of being an indie game designer. Because, in public, you almost always just see the good things, right? So I just wanted to, that's 100% how I was feeling, and I just wanted to share that. I had no real motivation to talk about anything else. I was just like, yeah, that's all I was thinking about. So thank you to everyone who responded. I haven't had a chance to reply to everyone yet, but I will reply to you. So just know my newsletters are a two-way thing. So when I write a newsletter, you can always hit reply and respond back. Send me a letter back. I always reply to people. Just sometimes it may take me a few days to respond, but I will. But yeah, I know that almost every designer has a story like that. This one is probably the hardest, the biggest disappointment. Like I had that one last year where a game was canceled, but that was before I did put in quite a bit of work actually, but it wasn't like a final game, and it wasn't, ready to go. It wasn't approved. It wasn't, had like a release date. It wasn't at that stage quite yet, but it was pretty far along. But then this one is way worse than that. Way worse than that. But there's nothing I can do about it. So just have to keep moving forward. But just thank you to everyone for letting me talk about that and being supportive and very kind. So thank you very much. So I am going to be recording a video today and editing and uploading it today. And I'll give you a little sneak peek. It's going to be about Canadian designed board games, and I actually discovered quite a few that I did not realize were designed by Canadians. This is, sparked by the whole thing going on in the U.S. with, my country being threatened to be annexed. And also, that actual little video talking about how if a game's designed by, not designed by an American or a German, that's a red flag. I know he was, that was tongue-in-cheek. But Canada didn't even get an honorable mention from him. Keep in mind, Canada only has 40 million people, and a lot of Canadians have designed quite a few board games, and it's interesting that we don't seem to quite get the recognition that a lot of other countries do for such a small population. But anyway, I'm going to just share a few that I discovered in my research that I actually did not realize were designed by Canadians. First of all, the number one ranked board game on Board Game Geek that has been the number one game on Board Game Geek for a long time, Brass Birmingham, was designed by, why don't we bring it up so you can see what I'm talking about? Although I'm sure most of you know Brass Birmingham. But Brass Birmingham is a follow-up. The first one was Brass Lancashire. Here, let's look at it together. Oh, hey, TK. Yeah, you're welcome. They say, thanks for sharing with us. It's been good as a new designer to see a complete and honest picture of the industry. Yeah, totally. I definitely want to, you know, be transparent and share the ups and the downs. Because, you know, it's not all roses. Okay, let me share my screen here. Okay, so here's BGG. Let's look up Brass Birmingham. Number 1, numero uno. Yeah, so it was, the original was designed by Martin Wallace, who's based out of the UK. And he's done a ton of games. Look at that. Holy moly. Woo! Just trying to see if I recognize any of these other ones. Not a ton. Yeah, so Martin Wallace is the original designer. But then for Brass Birmingham, the sequel to it, Gavin Brown and Matt Tolman joined Martin to co-design it, and they are from my hometown of Calgary, Alberta. Calgary, Alberta, yeah. And they actually, yeah, Gavin is the director of the publisher that published Brass Lancashire and Brass Birmingham. I'm pretty sure they did Brass Lancashire. Let's just double check that. Yeah, Roxley published the first one. And so then Gavin and Matt, who's also from Calgary, part of the Game Artisans of Canada. Yeah, Calgary. So yeah, the, you know, not to brag or anything, but that was just pretty cool. I actually did not realize at all that 2 Calgarians are 2 of the designers for the number 1 ranked game on BGG. That's pretty. That's great. Q. Please let me know if you can. Oh, it says offline. Awesome. Yeah, I just closed OBS and opened it up again. And we'll see if that fixed it. Okay, looks like we might be back on Twitch. Oh, yeah. So over it. I will be back in Canada next week. So thank you, Blunt Axe. I appreciate you letting me know. We are back on YouTube. Are we back on Twitch? Looks like it. I will be back in Canada next week, so hopefully we should not be dealing with these issues, these connectivity issues next week. Anyway, as I was saying, Earth was published by Inside Up, a Canadian publisher based out of Ontario, I believe. But I didn't realize that Earth was designed by Maxime Tardif from Quebec, I believe Montreal. Let me see here. I have it written down. I just can't remember if it was Quebec City or Montreal. No, Quebec City. Yeah, Quebec City. Very, very cool. And Dice Throne was a surprise to me as well. Designed by the same guy who co-designed Brass Birmingham. Why are more people not talking about Gavin Brown? Hey Joe, how you doing? Okay. Yeah, so this is Gavin Brown's gamography. Yeah, Dice Throne. Had no idea. Well, at least, no, yeah, the original Dice Throne. And then, like, a million different expansions and whatnot. Oh, I think I've heard of this one. Train of Thought party game. That's cool that one of the designers of Brass Birmingham has also done a party game. I love that. And also, this is good to see, you know, like, we can be so hard on ourselves, constantly checking our games on Board Game Geek and whatnot, and, you know, some of the could not access specified challenge. Double check your Steam. Okay. All right, friends. This might not happen today, which is super annoying. Just keep moving forward. Anyway, so that was Gavin Brown. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Looks like we might have to end early. Yeah. Well, now it's saying excellent connection. All right, what if we just say goodbye to Twitch? So sorry, Twitch. Okay, let's just say goodbye to Twitch. Okay, well, YouTube is saying excellent connection, so let's just try with just YouTube. If you were, well, everyone over on Twitch, come over to YouTube. Okay, so anyway, Dice Throne, I was talking about Dice Throne was designed by someone from my hometown. That's pretty cool. Roxley also published Santorini. Pretty cool abstract game. But yeah, I just wanted to toot the Canadian horn a little bit there. Just a little preview of what my video will be about. Okay, hey Nep, I'm glad you came over to YouTube. I don't know what Twitch's problem is today. I hope that stream counted for my my monthly average. I don't know how long you need to stream for it to count, but I tried. So I don't know what more they want from you, but I'm glad you came over to YouTube. Hopefully anyone else who is watching on Twitch comes over to YouTube. The video I am recording today is about Canadian design board games that also Canadian stores you can buy them from. And I picked a different store from each province and territory. I couldn't find one from Nunavut, which is one of our territories in the north, but I did find a game designed from someone who lives there, so I will talk about that, but it doesn't look like you can buy it anywhere, unfortunately. But if anyone knows of a board game store or a board game cafe or anything like that in Nunavut, please let me know. Okay, maybe I'll close Board Game Geek. Maybe it doesn't like that. I'll just do this. But how are you all doing out there? How are your designs going? Let me know. Is anyone at Dice Tower West this weekend? I will be at a convention next weekend in Vancouver. I'm very, very, very excited. It's called Terminal City Convention in Vancouver, BC. And I have signed up to play Salt Fjord and White Castle. And I'm very excited about both. I have not played Salt Fjord before. Have any of you played it? I've watched a playthrough or how to play, and it looks very, very interesting. I love games where a lot of things are like connected, like if you do this, it'll affect that, and that'll affect this kind of thing. So yeah, it looks like a lot of interesting choices to be made. So excited to try that one out. And White Castle, I really love. I have never won playing it. I still enjoy it though. I think that says a lot, that even when you lose, you still enjoy a game. So maybe this will be my time to win. Probably not, because I believe the person teaching it is also playing. I finished one game with a couple people on Board Game Arena, Derek and Dan, and I had a great time, but I lost very, very badly. Oh, nice. Joe's been playing White Castle and BGA as well. Nice. What would you say is your win percentage? Mine is 0. I did walk through the tutorial on BGA because I was like, I feel like I'm missing some important information that could help me. And I think that did help me. The biggest thing that it helped me realize is that in a 3 or 4 player game, you can stack dice on the different spots, or you can stack 2 maybe. I don't think it's as many as you want, but I did not realize that. So if I saw a die on a space, I just figured I couldn't go there at all. So that was a hot tip. And then just, going through the tutorial and seeing some sample turns, I was like, oh, you can actually do a lot. Because on a lot of my turns, I just do one thing. And there's only 9 turns, I believe. You only going on. It's a lot to wrap your head. It says that there's no data. Oh, it says that there's no data. Oh, just gonna see if it figures itself out. Sorry, friends, this is super annoying, I know. Okay. Looks like it. Okay. It might be okay now. Thanks, Joe. We're back. Professional streamer. Professional YouTube partner. Almost Twitch affiliate. Right here. Okay. Valiant is not a Dice Tower, but I've been designing a lot. Day job getting in the way, yeah. But I finished, and it's officially ready for playtesting by others. I literally have 4 other games pending. Nice. Oh, that's exciting, Valiant. Good job. That's a lot. 4 games in your queue. Wow. Well, best of luck with the playtest, and good job getting the prototype done. That's awesome, especially with a day job. You can be so tired when you get home from your day job, but once you start, at least when I start designing, I always feel like re-energized. So good for you. And Joe's win percentage is pretty low. That makes me feel better. Good. Joe always wants to play courtiers and warriors, even though people say the farmers are the strongest. Are they? Okay. Because I feel like I don't know, I've tried so many different strategies, like focusing really heavily on the gardeners. and not winning. Focusing really heavily on the courtiers and not winning. I haven't really ever focused 100% on the warriors because you also need to do the courtiers. But I think one big thing I didn't fully realize is that with the gardeners, you have to, like, if you leave a die on that space in between rounds, you can activate that power again. So you need to make sure you have the stuff that you need to pay to do that one again, because you'll only get that chance max 2 more times. So there's only 3 rounds. But yeah, once I'm back to, stable Wi-Fi land, we should play White Castle on stream. Is it on Tabletopia? Let me look it up on my phone so I don't crash my computer. I believe it is, but let's just double check, because it is in beta mode on BGA, so I'm not sure it's on Tabletopia. Oh yeah, it is on Tabletopia. Excellent. So of course on Tabletopia, they won't hold your hand. They won't tell you can't go there, you can't do that, whatever, like BGA does, which can be nice. But it is nice how it feels like you're actually playing a tabletop game on Tabletopia. So we should play that when I get back and I can stream, a bit better. But yes, I am currently on BGA. I'm playing the longest game in the history of Sea Salt and Paper. Corthan, if you're watching, can you please just win? The last round ended because we just ran out of the deck. The audio's going in and out. Oh, sorry, Valiant. You have 1 push your luck, 1 trick taking game, 1 tile laying game, and 1 card shedding game. Wow. Very cool. You're doing like around the world of board game mechanics. I love that. Very, very fun. Well, best of luck with that. That sounds like a great time. Oh man, I wish my computer wasn't being annoying right now, because I could take my BGA turns with you all and you could help me. But yeah, I'm playing. I don't know, if I click on that, it'll have me not take my turn. Yeah, Sea Salt and Paper. I'm losing terribly. Corthane is 4 points away from winning. Please just win, Corthane. I'm just going for mermaids at this point. And viticulture. I believe I'm also in last place for that one, but I really enjoy viticulture and I have some big plans, so watch out. I could jump ahead. Probably not. I have the fewest workers of everyone. I do have the most buildings. Well, actually, I haven't compared. I'm assuming. I have a lot of buildings, but who knows? So we will see. I do know my next 2 moves, so once it's my turn, I'm ready to go. And 2 games of Castles of Burgundy. Oh man, I was playing Castles of Burgundy yesterday. So I had a flight to Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City yesterday, and it was delayed 6 hours. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. So I decided to try to play some games on BGA to pass the time. And I was playing an arena, like style, whatever game, like labeled, categorized. Like, so it basically accounts for your score, your rank, and like it's a serious game. And so I was playing that against someone ranked much higher than me, but I was staying with them. I was like right there with them. And then it was telling me that they weren't taking their turn. And it looked like, when you see like the little symbol next to their name, it was like, looked like it was buffering. And I was like, oh no, it looks like they might be having internet issues. It says excellent connection, so hopefully it figures it out. I'm just gonna keep talking. So apparently it was an issue on my end, but nothing looked like it was like buffering for me. It looked like they were having internet issues. But it was so annoying because it happened in like the last, like there were 3 turns left in the game. And I possibly could have beat this person that was ranked so much higher than me. Instead, I lost just by default because I ran out of time. But I was sitting there ready to go. And I don't know. I guess it was an internet issue on my side, but it didn't. I looked like I had full bars, and it said their like Felix or whatever is taking their turn, and it said the person's not taking their turn. What can you do? And I'm like, why is it saying that? Why was it saying that I was running out of time? Anyway, it said that I would get a karma penalty, and I was like, I wanted to play. I was waiting to play. So I guess since it was my first time, they did not give me a penalty, thankfully, but I was pretty pissed that I lost that game that I possibly could have won. Anyway, so Valiant is saying one idea ended up splitting into 2 different games, so that's how that happened. Yeah, I was kind of wondering if something like that possibly happened because they seem very like they all have one kind of core thing. So I was wondering if they also have other, sub mechanics happening too, or are they kind of pure? Like, is it a pure push your luck and a pure trick taking and a pure tiling and a pure card chain, or are there other mechanics also mixed in with them? I'm curious. Someone asked, I can't remember where it was, if it was on one of my streams or an email or something, but someone asked, what is a good game as like a new designer, to learn a bunch of different mechanics quickly? And I suggested Gateway Island. I don't know if anyone has heard of that. I would look it up on BGG, but my computer will be likely very angry at me if I try that again. But the idea is a bunch of mini games in this one game, and they will expose you to a few different board game mechanics. Very cool idea. And so if you're a new designer or you're just interested in learning different board game mechanics, you might want to check it out. I haven't played it, so I can't vouch for the gameplay or anything like that, but it sounds like a really cool idea. So yeah, Gateway Island is what that one is called. Yeah, just thinking about different mechanics that I would personally like to try to incorporate in a future game possibly is maybe the idea of like the rondelle. So that's like having kind of this wheel thing, and you move around it, and each section of the pie or of the wheel has different actions you can take or things you can do, and so you have to like try to time moving around and landing on the space that you want to land on. Is an interesting concept, and so that might be something I might want to try in a future game. What board game mechanic would you like to try to incorporate in a future game for the first time? Oh, I would like an area control. Yeah, area majority, they call it. Area majority or influence game. That could be cool. I haven't used that in a game. The idea is just whoever has the most pieces or resources in a certain area controls it, but that can constantly change. So area majority could be a good one. Chaining, so like kind of cascading. Oh no, wait. Oh no, I was assuming this meant more like cascading effects. No, this says pieces are stationary but are built out in chains. This can give a dynamic sense of motion to the game even though the pieces don't move. Early examples of this mechanism can be found in expeditions around the world and through the desert. And they also have Terra Mystica I played Terra Mystica the other day, and I'm trying to, like, oh yeah, I guess you're chaining because you can only place something next to a previously placed thing. Okay. All right. Contracts I really enjoy because I find it so satisfying, and I'm realizing I had a game about being bike couriers that I really enjoyed, and I just wasn't getting much traction with publishers, so I archived it for a couple years now. But I feel like I possibly wasn't getting as much contracts. That is so. Lost Ruins of Arnak, which I still haven't played, and I really, really want to. Star Wars Rebellion. I played that a long time ago. I don't remember contract fulfillment. Orleans Scythe. What contract fulfillment is there in Scythe? And Barrage. Cool. I mean, there's contract fulfillment in viticulture. For sure. So yeah, I'm just going through the BGG list of board game mechanics and just seeing what kind of cool, because I'm inspired by Valiant. Just they're really focused on like a bunch of different mechanics, and it just got me thinking like, what mechanic might I like to maybe try in a future game? Well, I really like bag building games. I think those are pretty fun. I don't love the luck of then drawing out of it, but I like the idea of filling up a bag with cool stuff. All right, Valiant. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, sorry the stream's been super annoying today. I mean, we've been able to kind of stream for like almost an hour, so that counts. See you later, Valiant. Thanks so much for popping in. Best of luck with your games. Oh, nice. Talking gave them an idea, and now they have to write it down. I love that. Best of luck to you. That's awesome. Yeah, friends, sorry. This internet is being dramatic. It goes from excellent connection to no connection. It's a roller coaster, and I can't deal with it. But I really apologize. I was stoked to hang out today. But good news, I will be back with stable internet in a couple weeks. I won't be streaming next week because I will be traveling back to Canada, and then I'll be at Terminal City Con next weekend. But the week after that, I should be back to the regular schedule. So like these times will go back to what the I will include this in my next newsletter though, so thank you for telling me about that. I will include this in my next newsletter. If I don't, I might actually have GameCon in my newsletter already, but just in case, I will make sure to write that down, make sure I have that in my newsletter. But if I don't go, I hope you have a fantastic time. It's video games and board games, right? I believe I might already have that listed in my event section of my newsletter, but just in case. GameCon in Edmonton in June. Yeah, I won't be in Calgary anymore in June, but if I was, I definitely would head on up to Edmonton for that. Sounds very, very cool. I definitely want to go to more Canadian conventions. Mostly video games. Gotcha. That would still be really, really cool.